Hello everyone and welcome to Our Game, a new video presentation by the Herald-Sun Sports Department, which talks about our game in North Carolina, which is college basketball. I'm Steve Wiseman, the Duke beat writer for the Herald-Sun, along with my colleague Harold Gutmann, who covers North Carolina. And we're here to talk about the new season, which starts tonight here in the Triangle. Duke and Carolina are both at home and starting off against non-conference opponents. So we're going to address kind of some situations going on with the teams right now and talk about getting ready for this season. Our first topic this week is going to be the top question mark heading into the season for both of our schools. We're going to start with Harold talking with North Carolina. What do you think the top question mark is for the Tar Heels?
Yeah, you know, it's funny, Steve. I think the top question mark this year is the same as it was last year. Will they have an inside presence? The fact is, last year they had 4 different guys try out at that center position, and Roy Williams, the coach, couldn't find one that he liked, so they ended up going small the rest of the year. It sort of invigorated their season. But this year he said he wants to go back to being a conventional, with the center, traditional lineup. And he actually has the same 4 guys that couldn't get the job done last year, came back, they're all a year better. And he's got another guy, this freshman from Charlotte, Kennedy Meeks. The big question mark with him is he came in at 317 pounds, which isn't ideal for Roy's up-tempo system. He's already dropped 30 pounds just in the summer conditioning program. So as long as he gets his conditioning in order, I think he could really shore up the middle for them. How about for Duke?
Yeah, it's funny because the top question mark for the Tar Heels is the inside game. Duke doesn't really have a true inside game this year, so the question mark is, can this system work? They're going to run and try to pressure with defense, go with transition baskets, good perimeter shooting. They're not going to be a half-court team at all because they don't have a guy like Mason Plumlee in the middle who's now in the NBA with the Brooklyn Nets. They don't have a true center. Their top interior guys are a couple of 6'8" forwards, Jabari Parker and Rodney Hood, and they're going to try to go with more of a fast pressure type team. So can this system work? I mean, Coach K has been able to put in systems in the past. He changes his system to whatever his talent is. This year's talent does not have a true center, so we're going to see if that can work in today's college basketball.
I think second issue that both Duke and North Carolina have, obviously high expectations every year for both programs, no matter who they have returning. What's it going to take for Duke to kind of meet those expectations this year?
It's going to be good perimeter shooting. We're going to have to see if Suleiman and Cook and the newcomer Matt Jones can shoot consistently well from three-point. Can Andre Dawkins come back and provide some perimeter shooting? We know they're going to play hard defense. They're going to run. They are athletic. They're deep. So those areas are taken care of. They're going to have to shoot the ball well from the outside because there are going to be times when, yeah, they're going to get transition baskets, but they're going to have to make shots in the half court. And without a true inside presence, they're going to have to shoot well from the outside to be able to score and keep up with the best teams in the country.
I think for UNC, I mean, first, obviously, they have to integrate P.J. Hairston into the rotation when he gets back, once he's done serving his suspension. It's going to help that he's been practicing, he's been doing all the off-season workouts with the team. So I don't think it should be a problem once he gets on the court. Obviously, he's got 2 years of experience that he's going into his junior year now. So I don't think that'll be an issue kind of going into March. I think the bigger issue is they need their top players to really step up. James Michael McAdoo is a guy who came in with a really good prep pedigree, and he's shown flashes, but he's never really reached the levels that people kind of assume that he would at this point. Now he keeps coming back. He keeps eschewing guaranteed first-round NBA money. He obviously loves playing at UNC. Now is kind of the time to take this team on his back. He's going to be a captain this year. And he's the kind of player that he really needs to step up for this team to do well.
And our third topic is going to be talking about the new expanded ACC. 15 teams this year, bigger than it's ever been. Great talent. Many people think it's the best conference in the country. It's hard to argue with that. So we're going to talk about maybe what are some of the teams that we think can surprise. We know Duke and Syracuse are looked at as the top 2 teams. They're top 10 in the national polls.
Sure.
Who are some of the teams we think can really surprise? Who do you say?
I'm going to start with Florida State. They're usually, in that middle tier, sometimes a little better. Last year they kind of slipped up. They made the NIT, but they didn't make the NCAA tournament. But they're always good for 18 wins. I think they've won 18 wins 8 straight years. They returned 4 starters. They don't have Michael Snare, so they need someone else to take that last-second dramatic shot that Michael Snare was known for. But they do have 4 returning starters. They have 3 7-footers. That tough interior defense that the Seminoles pride themselves on. They always play UNC tough. I know that for a fact, and just like most teams. So I think Florida State, maybe nobody's really talking about them, but I see them kind of in the upper echelon of the ACC this year. How about you?
The team I really want to keep an eye on is Boston College, because this is Steve Donahue's 4th year. They've really had some struggles the last 3 years adjusting to his system, but Olivier Hanlon as a guard and Ryan Anderson in the middle are giving them a tremendous inside-outside presence. And I just think that Donahue's done a good job of instilling his system. I was at the game last year in Boston when they took Duke down to the wire. Duke had to win at the end of it. And so they have the ability. They can play better at home. Now it's going to be a matter of those guys have played together for a couple of years. Can they really bring it on and make the postseason? Maybe NIT this year. Maybe they get the top half of the league and make an NCAA run, which would be great for that program. One thing I will say is that all these topics we talked about can be read about in our special section for college basketball, which comes out in today's Herald-Sun. We'll break down the entire ACC, look at every team. We'll look at Duke, North Carolina, men and women, along with NC Central and the MEAC. I want to thank everybody for watching our initial version of our game, and we hope to see you next week at the same time.